mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for a day. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. Sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Salute and welcome. Good to see all of you here today. Wow, kind of got a full crowd to start off the show. That's wonderful. Of course, starting with the lovely netter of Netters Network, my truly my better half. She says I'm the love of her life, but she is my reason for living. She says, like, share, subscribe, and become a member. Yes, please do. Please do. Definitely need the support now more than ever, as this channel needs to grow, and we've got all sorts of things working against us. We really need to make a go of this. So anything you can do to help would be greatly appreciated. Merpo! Bring on the fresh gach and keep the warm blood wine flowing. Kapla, bach, jej. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube, channel member and great supporter. Thank you so much for being here. Jonathan Conroy says he is mowing the grass and sipping on an iced tea. That sounds like wonderful summer activity to me. Best to you. Glad you're here. I appreciate it. Curtis Selby says, I should be able to listen to most of this. Yes, I'm probably not going to go too very long today. I always say night because I'm so used to doing night streams, but I will keep it a little shorter than usual. Yeah. Let's see here. ussarn G, welcome. Good to see you, my friend, the newest member of the channel. Curtis points out that I had a late night, listened for maybe half an hour, and then crashed hard. Yeah, and we only went for about an hour, so you only missed about half the show. You can go back and check it out. I kind of like the cut of Tony's jib. Definitely going to be hanging out with him some more. He's going to join me a week from Friday. Get some pointers from him. He points out that, he and I have similar numbers of subscribers, but what does that mean? I think he's doing his show really good. A lot of things I admire about it. I want to emulate. Particularly the commercials promoting other channels. I think I got to do a lot more of that. And I had mentioned, I think 2 weeks ago, I want to get away from doing the weekly rundown and start doing promotional shorts within the video. It's a lot faster. It's a lot more streamlined. It looks more professional, I think. So I think I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. Yeah, at least the first half hour was fantastic. Then you left and it all went to hell. No, I don't know. I don't know. Yes, he is very talented. He is very, very talented. I agree. Sin's Corner. Wow. Graced with YouTube royalty. Thank you so much for being here, Sin. Hello, Gina. Oh, gonna listen in for a bit while I exercise. You know what? You're an inspiration. I really should be doing a lot more of that. You know, I keep doing these few ounce curls. That's my exercise. Let's see. Where are we at? I remember this. How do you say exorcist, Sin's Corner? Must be an in-joke that I don't know very well. Black Fatigue. Kevin says, hello, everybody. Went to the theater last night after dinner and watched a special screening of a new Stephen King movie called Life of Chuck. Never read the story, but movie had awesome actors. That sounds great. I did not know that there was a new Stephen King film out. I will be looking forward to, for example, Sin's Corner's review of that before I decide if I want to see it myself. Matanui is here to say hi. Welcome, my friend. Always good to see you. I believe we're still talking about Tony. He does an incredible job, and his singing voice is great. Yeah, mine is more for humorous value. I may go back to, he kind of encouraged me, I may go back to something I used to do, and if I get a certain number of super chats, maybe I'll do a song or whatever. We'll see. Mark Melankoff, having more coffee. Had an early morning dental appointment. Yes, I was just at the dentist yesterday with Netter. You know, Netter and I are a close couple. We really are. But I think in some ways we are way too close. We go to the dentist together. We both get diagnosed with the exact same number of cavities that need to get filled, and we will both be going back on the same day to get that done. So, but for now, the teeth feel clean. Was talking with the dentist yesterday, and he was asking about how the this was doing, the whole streaming thing. Told him that I'd branched out to a daily show like this, and I was. My hygienist was in the room while I was talking to the dentist. When she left, she said, "So when is your regular show?" I said, "Friday nights." She said, oh, "Okay, I'll." And she says, and she asked how to find me. Just look up my name. It's Last Call with Troy Pacelli. I said it'd be great if you come to a Friday stream and just type in, "Hey everybody, of all the people in the stream, I'm the only one that knows what the inside of Troy's mouth looks like." Of course, he was making fun of you, Sin. I kind of assumed at least that much of it. Of me exercising, because apparently he has forgotten all about that word. I actually was at a screening of Valeria last night, so I did not see the Stephen King film. Yeah, if that's the same one that Steven saw last night, I will really be looking forward to hearing everybody's comments on that. He's already piqued my interest. I've heard it's very good, though, directed by Mike Flanagan. Interesting. They are two tiny cavities. It's not the size. It's the fact that they exist. That's what I have to deal with. It's not a horror movie. Okay, well, that's good. That is good to hear. Actually, when it comes to Stephen King, and this is just my opinion, I think his books tend to be better than his movies. His movies have a very low rate of good interpretation, in my opinion. And the best ones are the ones that aren't horror. The Green Mile, for example. One of my favorite Stephen King stories adapted into film. I thought that was really one of the best. Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips. Hello, my friend. It's good to see you. Yes, I am looking forward to hanging out with you. I believe it is is it this Saturday or next Saturday? I think it's this Saturday. Going to be doing a watch party over on his channel. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Mark Malikoff got an implant. Careful eating those deep fried Ferengi earlobes. They are crunchy and can break a tooth, which I did. Yeah, I know that happens. Stephen, it's okay, the 7th, exactly. So that would be, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, that's this Saturday. So there we go. Stephen King's new movie is considered a science fiction. Okay, fair enough. I'm not sure I've ever seen another science fiction film from Stephen King before. That'll be interesting. That might be a first for me. I don't know. I do not know. But anyway, I've got to admit, for all that we watch older films, here and on Netter's Network and on Big Al's channel, and I watch, like Sin and Deleted Scenes and whatnot, and their takes on movies. Haven't been to the theater in quite some time. It's got to have been over a year now. What was the last movie we saw? Was it Dune, or was it? I don't know. It's been a really long time since we've been to the theater. And it's really hard for me to advocate, go to the cinema, see a movie, whatever. I mean, because what is there to see? I mean, I know that you guys have been telling me about a lot of good movies, but nothing so good that I felt I had to see it right now in the theater. I feel like I can just wait for it to come to a, physical media or home streaming thing. Maybe I'm just getting lazy. I don't know, but it's got to be a pretty big deal to get me out of the house. One of the ones I'm really concerned about right now is that new Superman movie. I hear they're going back for some major reshoots. Culture Casino did a video about that today. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. John Carter and the Ewok Battle of... Yeah, so I did not see John Carter in the theater, so I'm looking forward to checking that one out. And the Ewoks movies I do have on DVD, but, I love those EU considered non-canon things. They're up there with the holiday special for me. Yeah, I am planning to stay for both. That is my current plan. So rarely go to the movies, even before the pandemic. Yeah, well, I think we tend to blame the pandemic, and of course that was a huge catalyst. But I think in 2019, I specifically said that all the pandemic did was accelerate things that were already happening. There were sentiments about government, about overreach, about the health system, about the medical system, big farm, both FARM and PHARM. I actually mean both. And the entertainment industry. All of these things were hitting critical levels, and I think the pandemic just kind of pushed them all over the edge. And I think there were a lot of bubbles that burst, and some of them for the best. Right now, as people are talking about the former Pride Month that people have very much rebelled against, you're hearing like Target is getting hit really hard because they went all in on the Pride stuff, and most of their customers kind of eschewed that. So now they're trying to pivot away from that. So the audience that they went after, the customers they went after, that small minority of people that identify with the whole Pride movement, are now getting mad at them. When, I'm sitting back here going, well, why are you dividing up your eggs like that? and smashing them individually. Maybe you should keep them all in one protected place, is what I'm saying. I'm really mixing my metaphors there. Tonight I'm planning to watch either Karate Kid Legends or Thunderbolts. For the third time. Wow, you're really, really fired up about the Thunderbolts. I love you for going after what you enjoy, but you seem to be very much in a minority on that, my friend. And I think that the whole Marvel MCU is going to get hit another major blow with the Fantastic Four that is going to drastically underperform. Yeah, I may not even get around to seeing Karate Kid Legends before it comes out on physical media. I will be getting it on physical media because I literally have everything else in the franchise. The only thing I don't have is the last season of Cobra Kai because they haven't released it yet. But as soon as they do, I'll be getting that myself. Jay says, you are lazy. Thank you so much. But I'm glad you're here and engaging. That only helps. One of my favorite Stephen King movies is Silver Bullet. It's better than the short story it was based on. See, there you go. That. I don't think people think about this enough. The adaptation of a novelization as opposed to the adaptation of a short story. Short story adapted to 2 hours works very well. A long novel truncated to 2 hours, usually not so much. I think they should do more adapting short stories rather than novels. I think at this point, with the way streaming is going, I think you'd be better off taking a novel and making it a season of a streaming show. I mean, when you pack away your leftovers, right? You think through what is the best way to store this. Do I have the right size container for this? And if you're going to break them up into smaller containers to freeze, individual portions, that's a smart thing, Anyway, again, mixing my metaphors here. I love the big screen experience. I practically live at the theater. Yes, I know you do, Sin. And there's something in that, right? When you really enjoy going to the theater and it's your thing. So, for example, you'll hear a lot of people will say, why do they use tobacco products? Most people that use tobacco products are addicted to nicotine, right? Except for two types of people. Pipe smokers and cigar smokers. They're not really getting a significant amount of nicotine from the smoke. What they're getting is flavor and ambiance. They're getting the ritual behind it, and that's really what that's all about. And in a way, if you really enjoy going to the theater and the whole experience and the stale popcorn and hanging out with friends and so forth, even if the movie isn't great, you're still going to really, really enjoy yourself, Is the Blake 7 watch party for 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 your time? Yes, that is the time I'm going to be planning to do it going forward. You're right. I don't have the stream up yet. I will set that right after this. But I want to make sure I give Deleted the time he needs for his super secret Monday movie stream, or whatever it's called, and the possibly shifting times of Live from Sparkwood in 21. Big Al says, hello, my friends. Hello to you as well, Big Al of Big Al Presents. Always wonderful to see you. Wade says, don't go see Karate Kid. Yeah, it didn't get enough ringing endorsement to get me out the door. I mean, let's face it, I haven't seen the last season of Cobra Kai yet. I still got that sitting waiting to be watched. So I got to get caught up on that first. Yep, our taxes will go to Crook County and RTA, CTA used relied on COVID money to keep things running. Now that it's gone, they want to raid our counties to pay for it. It's all BS. Yep, I know. This is what happens when you live in a kleptocracy like we do, Mark. We've got to get out of this state. He says it's, and we're talking about the Karate Kid Legends. It's not good. At least so he heard. I haven't heard it was bad, but you're right. I did not hear that it was good. There's a bubble that when it bursts, can stay that way. Yeah, there you go. I don't think I've seen a Marvel film since Multiverse of Madness. That might have been the last movie I saw in theaters. Colleen, you stuck with Marvel longer than I did. I got through Endgame and I was out. I was done. I was like, I saw Endgame already going down the other side of that hill, and I had skipped Captain Marvel. I didn't fall for the bait that I had to see it in order to follow the next movie. And as I saw the things that, look, this is the thing about being a fan of a franchise and knowing what's being adapted. I saw what was being adapted. I liked where they were going with the Infinity Gauntlet, overarch. But as I saw them going into Secret Wars and the all-new, all-different Marvel, this is a great example of learning the wrong lesson, right? There's more than one thing necessary for a film series to be successful. First, it's got to be good. No matter what you do, it's got to be good and enjoyable, and people got to like it. If it's an adaptation, it needs to be faithful. And if it's a faithful adaptation, it's got to be a faithful adaptation of something that was successful. Because if you make a faithful adaptation of something that people didn't like, what makes you think they'll like it on the big screen any more than they liked it in the comic book? That's what we're seeing right now going up on screen. They're going, well, I can point to a comic book where this actually happened, and I could point to how poorly that comic book sold. That's not a flex, you know? But I definitely hear you, Colleen, and I'm right there with you. A lot of people enjoyed Thunderbolts. It's better than some of the recent MCU entries. It's also much better than Karate Kid Legends. That film was a letdown. It should have been a Cobra Kai movie. But, again, when you get to franchise films, the question becomes, do you need another film in that series? Or has the story been told? Really, these studios need to learn to let it go. When you've told the story, put the pen down, walk away. You're done. Yes, I understand you have a lot of investment in it and so forth. Maybe release some action figures or something. I don't know, but just stop. From everything I've heard about Cobra Kai, the story is done. There's nothing more you have to do with it. Time to let it rest for another 10, 20, 30 years before we pick it up with another generation, maybe. But there you go. As far as Thunderbolts goes, now there's a great example of we saw leading up to Endgame, we saw how positive momentum can build a juggernaut of a franchise. On the other hand, and I would say that the box office sales for Captain Marvel are a perfect example of that. That film benefited hugely by being squeezed into the juggernaut that was the shared universe of Marvel at the time. Now, I would argue Thunderbolts is the opposite. Thunderbolts might be a good movie, but it is the one good movie surrounded by a metric crap ton of bad. So people are going, yeah, I heard it was a good movie, but it's tied to all this crap that I'm not interested in, and I don't feel like investing in. It's not worth it. I'll just stay home. I got other things to do. You know, that's what I think most people are doing. So it's a double-edged sword. If you're going to have these big shared universes, all interwoven. It's all got to work, and it's all got to work well. Because once it falls apart, it's like throwing a wrench into an intricate, machine of gears. It all falls apart. It all just goes to hell. Thank you so much, Netter, my number one cheerleader. There's no doubt about it. Silver Bullet will be on Films with Friends in October. Yep, looking forward to that. He says specifically October 25th. Yep, that's the one where Big Ed Hurley is the priest, right? I like that. Movie. And who plays the uncle in that? The dude with the goofy teeth. Yeah, I'm forgetting his name. Mark tells Sin, love your reviews. Thank you for your hard work. I'm not sure she looks at it as hard work. I think she enjoys it. She's one of those crazy ones. The theater you go to should just make a room for you to live in there. Actually, it should be like Siskel and Ebert, right? The aisle seats should just be reserved for her. Save us the aisle seats. She says, share the love, hit the thumbs up button. 18 here and only 9 thumbs up. Guys, yeah, help me out because I got a bipolar Kiwi that's trying everything he can to reign on this channel. Not to mention, the platform and the crap that we got to deal with from our overlords. So please help me in any way that you possibly can. Let's fight those algorithms and the ratios. The Murderbot TV series, I don't know if I've heard about that, is also better than the novella it was based on. The Dexter series was better than the books until later in the show when everything fell apart. Well, you know what? That's kind of the point I was getting at, Sin. Know what story you want to tell, and when you're done telling it, stop. Because otherwise you just start meandering into, the ether and you end up ruining it. I would argue that Game of Thrones was the same thing. As long as they were adapting the books that existed, they were doing really well. Soon as they started going off on their own because they outpaced what was written, it all went to crap. Plus, they rushed it. So they did everything they could to destroy that, and they did a great job. They did a wonderful job of destroying it. A button smashed. Thank you so much, Mark. A Silver Bullet starring Bob Seger. I see what you did there. Xi Jinping. Cigars are just for aura farming. You turn 60, light a cigar, and think you're in the mafia. Well, I suppose there is that element of it. That's true. But I like the smell of them. I like the taste of them. There's a lot that goes around it. You're kind of putting a fine point on it, but I think it's more around that. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's true. It is about the pomp and circumstance of it in a lot of ways. Cutting off the end and lighting it evenly. Especially if it's the end is dipped in brandy. It's got that flavor to it. Very, very nice. When you smoke a pipe or when you smoke a cigar, you take that into your mouth and your taste buds get all tingly, right? So then when you have a sip of wine or you have a sip of brandy or a cognac or something, your mouth just lights up with that flavor. That's why they go so well together. So that's an element of it too. It's like a whole different flavor than without it. Absolutely. So is that? Let me know what that's a link to. Is that a link to our a future watch party for this Saturday, or is that for something else? Either way, go check out that link from Real Wade Nation Gaming Clicks. Hit that like button, and if you are not subscribed, subscribe to him while you are there. Writing for TV is way different than writing a novel, though I have been looking into how to pace a novel the way that some successful TV and streaming shows are paced. I will go even more broadly than that, Colleen. I would say, especially when you're doing this adaptation of one medium to another, you have to understand the medium you're writing for, right? This is the one thing, and I've said this before, so I don't think this is new or controversial. Not a huge Zack Snyder fan, but there is one thing he does very, very well. He's a visual storyteller. And when he is adapting a visual story, he can do it one-to-one, and he does it very well. Examples of that, The Watchmen and The 300. He took comic books, not ongoing comic books, but very finite stories, treated those comic books as if they were the storyboards for his movie, and then made that movie. I think his Watchmen was about the best adaptation you could do of Watchmen. I think The 300 was the best adaptation of the comic book, which of course is the story of the Battle of Thermopylae, that you could do. When he has too much information to fit into one movie, he's all over the place. You know, he wanted to tell the story of The Dark Knight Returns and the death of Superman and the origin of Superman. And we're talking about stories that take place over a lifetime of these characters. And he told them out of order, with no buildup, with no plan, and it was a mess. So understand your medium, and understand how to plan your story. If you want to tell The Dark Knight Returns and the death of Superman, you've got to have a number of stories before it that establishes their relationship, establishes them as heroes, makes you care about those characters before you can care about what you're doing with them in those future storylines. For some reason, the phone app won't let me tag people specifically. That's too bad. Yeah, I hate phones, and for no other reason, they're tiny. I can't read that little writing, you know. So Jersey John's review, and it was good. There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I love seeing the cross-pollination between the channels. This is really good. 22 watching and only 10 thumbs? Come on, guys. Help me out here. Help me out here. Smash that like button. Don't make this Klingon come looking for you. Smash it now. Last one I saw was Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah, what was the first one they did? It wasn't Far From Home. It was, I don't remember. Was No Way Home the first one? Anyway, the first one that they did with Tom Holland and that brought in Robert Downey Jr. I liked it because it kind of stood on its own. You could imagine that any of the previous Spider-Man stories led up to it. If you were a fan of the Tobey Maguire, you know, you could just assume it was a recasting. If you were a fan of the other kid, I forget his name, you know, you could believe that was a prequel. When I saw that they were deciding to do the Into the Spider-Verse thing and have all three of them at once, I'm like, nope, I'm out. I'm done. I'm done. Saw Captain Marvel since a friend of mine was in town, and that was the only movie that looked good at the time. Oh, okay. What'd you think of it, Tim? I'd like to know. Oh. Captain Marvel is Billy Batson. Oh, my man. Absolutely, that is 100% correct. That of that Snyderverse era, those Captain Marvel related films were my favorites. I will admit that although I have it on DVD, I have not yet watched the Black Adam movie, but I will be watching it eventually. Let's see. I saw Captain Marvel. Jude Law is better in Captain Marvel versus Skeleton Crew. Yeah, and there's another one where, and they're doing this with a lot of these Marvel characters. They're bypassing the characters that people love to get to the later characters that either got ruined in the comics or that people never liked to begin with. Driving but still here. You be careful there. Make sure, this is of course Curtis Selby's new channel. Make sure that you are subscribed to Nothing to See Here Citizen. He is trying to rebuild his channel because the platform overlords will not monetize him. That's not a high bar though. Not sure what we're referring to here, but I suspect you are probably very, very right. Being better than mediocrity isn't that hard. I know, but most of these studios these days can't seem to manage that. I did see Shazam in theaters too, the first one. Yeah. I understand what they were doing. I did not care for the whole, big as a superhero. When Billy Batson becomes Captain Marvel, he's supposed to have the wisdom of Solomon. Now, there's a subtle way to do that, and they did not give him the wisdom of Solomon. They made him a child with superpowers. What they should have done was made him a child with the wisdom of Solomon, which is a very fine line to do. You almost have to kind of be a little bit more Captain America-ish, Steve Rogers, the person out of time. But in this case, he's out of his age group. He's got the innocence of a child, but the wisdom of an adult, and a little difficulty sometimes reconciling the two. I always imagined, although there have been all kinds of different imaginary stories of Captain Marvel as he got older, but an adult Billy Batson, when probably beginning to, as he gets older, look more and more like his superhero counterpart, having more and more wisdom. So, that would make for a much more interesting Captain Marvel, who is getting ready to pass on the mantle to someone else as he takes on the role of the wizard Shazam, and passes the power on to somebody else. But that would require them to plan ahead and think through the development of stories. Watching Thunderbolts was like watching the All-Star game with no All-Stars. I mean, that's kind of what I looked at there. And I heard a lot of people say, these are all second and third tier characters filling in for other people, and they all should have gotten better development before they were thrown into a movie together. Kind of like the way they built the Avengers in the first place. If I got to the All-Star game, I want to see all the stars, not the bad news bears. I get you. And here's the other thing that I've heard a lot of people say. All the build-up for these characters all came from their Disney Plus streaming shows that nobody watched. Nobody wants to do a bunch of homework to go watch a movie. I knew that Endgame would be peak MCU and that it would be it would be all downhill after that, give or take a few shining moments. Yeah, exactly. Mananui, I have a sign at work that says no one rises to low expectations. That's true. That is very, very true. Bad News Bears had multiple iterations in that successful franchise. Yeah, Walter Matthau, his was the best. Just in my opinion. Colleen O'Brien in 1941. That was the first one. Oh, what are we talking about there? I got to kind of go back and see what you're referring to. Well, I think I might have missed the... Oh, we're talking about Captain Marvel, the original serial. That actually was very good for its time. It actually was. I've got the whole collection on DVD. Worth checking out. Definitely worth checking out. I'm willing to bet you it's out on the interwebs there somewhere too. Probably for free. Gary Busey is the uncle. Yes, that's who I was trying to remember. That's the teeth guy. My brother worked with him on a movie years ago. I'm sure he's a very nice guy. He seems like he'd probably be a hoot to hang out with. Talking about the film from spring of 2019, but yes, Billy Batson was Captain Marvel when he first appeared in the comics. Yes. Game of Thrones showrunners ruined the story by tossing Jon Snow aside. Years of storytelling gone. Yeah. And you can make whatever arguments you want about what they did with Daenerys' character. But again, they rushed it, so there was no build-up. So you can't really defend it. You know, I mean, if you saw the first episode of Smallville and you saw, Lex Luthor as the sympathetic person that wants to be Clark's friend and a likable guy, and then you see the last episode where he's an insane villain trying to kill people, you'd be like, the hell happened here? Well, you just missed 10 years of show, That's basically what they did with Daenerys. They skipped over 2 books, and didn't give you the build-up to where she got to. $5 says George Martin has the story written, but he is not going to release it in his lifetime just to mess with people. That is the rumor. There is a rumor that he actually finished Winds of Winter before the HBO series was done. And his plan was to release it right after, whatever. But people reacted so strongly and been so toxic to him. I kind of think rightly so in this example. I think that's exactly what he's doing. He's just messing with people. And, he's going to have a grabber soon. And, his estate will release it, Or we don't. I don't care at this point. I'm pretty much done waiting for the fat man. Cigars, all about oral pleasure, according to my late uncle. There's a lot to be said for that. The latest video on your vlog channel. Still, go check out Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips. He's got a lot of great content. A champion boxer once said, it's hard to get up and work for it when you're waking up in silk sheets. That's Martin's problem. Yeah, that's a great point. That's kind of what the first the first 4 Rocky movies were about, right? You see Rocky in the first movie when he's got nothing, and he's working out by, punching meat, slabs of meat at the meat packing plant that he works at, running early in the morning, and he doesn't have the expensive workout stuff. And he actually, because he pushes himself so hard, he's actually able to stay in the ring with the world champion, and go the distance, right? He does not win, but he comes really, really close. And that in and of itself is a victory. In the second movie, he does end up winning because the champ gets a little soft, isn't working for it the way Rocky is, right? The third one, of course, you've got you're motivated by revenge, right? You killed my friend, now I'm going to take you down. The fourth movie flips the whole script. Now you see that Rocky has become the soft one who's posing for cameras and so on and so forth, and not working as hard as he should. And the Russian, who is pushed by his state and forced to perform and takes juice and so on and so forth, pummels the crap out of him, and Rocky realizes, I got to get back to my roots. So he goes back to chopping wood and running in the snow and getting his head together. So it's all about working hard, not sitting on your laurels. That's how you're successful. I've heard Cubans are very, very good. They are more accessible than they used to be. Never had one. The closest I've got is some really good Dominican, very similar from what I've heard. Snyder wanted to do Man of Steel 2, not Batman v Superman. DC overhauled Snyder and said he had to do these other things. Never mind the Justice League movie. Yeah, well, you can blame Warner Brothers, and I think there's plenty of blame to give them, but I saw what the first Man of Steel was, and it was already off to a bad start. That wasn't Superman. So if he had been allowed to do Man of Steel 2, I would not have anticipated it being any better. It's tiny. That's what she said. Troy would rather have a flip phone. Yes, because very Star Trek, Kirk Enterprise. Oh, was Homecoming the first one? Okay. Killing Superman off was really pointless since we knew he was going to be in Justice League. Yeah, the timing of that was terrible. Look, the other thing too is when they killed him off in the comics, it was kind of a surprise. Nothing that big had ever been done before. Now, when you're adapting comics, the storyline is coming. So you have to do it in a way that makes it a little different. Subverts expectations in a good way, is what I'm getting at. There's Wilkie's Movies and Music. Make sure you are following his channel so that I can easily forward you to him on Friday after a liquid lunch. Kill SM in his second movie. Oh, Superman. Kill Superman in his second movie. Yeah. And keeping in mind that when you watch the first movie, is he a hero that people love and would care about him being dead? If I was, one of the people in Metropolis and the city was destroyed around me because Superman came to town and brought his Kryptonian friends with him, and they battled around the downtown and killed a bunch of people, I would not be saying, oh, poor Superman, he's dead. Good. Get rid of him. We don't need more of his shenanigans. Because it's just how they told the story. Endgame was the end of the storyline, but it was past peak. Yeah, it wasn't. You wanted it to go out on a high note, and it was just over the peak. It was coming down the other side. It was like, oh, really good, but not all I was expecting. Welcome, Ahmed Ali. Welcome. Good to see you. Sorry, I wasn't in the chat. Was driving to a doctor's appointment. Yeah, we all, I had a doctor's appointment on Saturday. I had a dentist appointment yesterday. Man, oh man, we're all of us. But you know what? You gotta keep the machine running, right? Gotta keep the machine running. That's what's important. Martin, that Bran wins the throne in the end, which is silly. Yeah, exactly. Welcome, JPRPH1 says, howdy there, passing through to leave a like because he knows how to encourage me all around and sharing out. Good job on Stark of Iron last night. Have a great stream. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, it was good seeing you there. Really appreciated the support. I think George R.R. Martin doesn't have another book in him. I truly think he's got as far as he has in the Game of Thrones story, but he doesn't have anything left. I think he's just gotten lazy. He knows what story he wanted to tell. He's just too lazy to put it to paper. Left arm will go numb and start tingling one of these days. He doesn't look healthy to begin with. Yeah, that's exactly right. Rocky 3 is Ali losing to Foreman and coming back for the rematch. Yeah, that's. I wonder if I realized that at the time, but you're absolutely right. Paulie, Latino Slant, what's going on over here? Good to see you, my friend. We are probably just wrapping up. I intended this to be a very short liquid lunch, and just got to chatting with the friends, and it's going a lot longer. In fact, now that you remind me, I should look and see what is coming up that I can forward you guys to. Looks like WDW Pro is still going. Unless, Paulie, are you getting ready to go live soon? I want to forward my friends to another channel. Martin has been writing his current novel for 15 years. Yeah, exactly. The biggest problem with Snyder's Superman is that he kept trying to make him like Batman. I think that was part of a mandate, too. They can't do a super story without, making it about an anthropomorphic bat. Watch Man of Steel again. Metropolis was always destroyed by the Kryptonian machine. The fight with Zod was academic, but not as destructive as people make it sound. Look, it's not about the destruction. Metropolis gets destroyed. It's what Superman does or doesn't do. Okay? Watch Superman 2 again. They did the same story. And how Superman handled it in Superman 2 was very different. First and foremost, he was saving Metropolis and saving lives. Okay? They told a story badly in Man of Steel. That's all I'm saying. Sin loves the Snyder movies. I like the dark and gritty version of Superman as opposed to, you can watch Brightburn. That's the movie that you want to watch then. Because that's not Superman. But, yeah. So, like I said, I want to forward you guys on, and it looks like WDW Pro is still live, but he might not be by the time you get to him. But I'm going to send you over there anyway. If he's already done, go ahead and let's call it Troy Pacelli. We got a new video from Sin's Corner up. Ballerina. First reaction. Okay. Rocky 3. Rocky fights Rocky Rococo. Okay. It's more so it comes off like he doesn't care. That's exactly my point, Matanui. And I don't consider that dark and gritty. That's just, a selfish a-hole. He never tries to save anyone. It doesn't have to work, but it should at least try. Yeah, exactly. Because let's face it, that really is also the story of the death of Superman in the comics. He literally gives his life trying to save Metropolis. So when he dies, people care, another one that did it great, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, right? He's trying to save the people, and most specifically, the second one, the Doc Ock one, right? When the people are getting mad and throwing cans at the bad guy. Hey, he's our hero. Back off. I mean, yeah, don't even get me started on that. Anyway, didn't mean to get off on a Snyder bot screed on that one. I was looking to wrap it up. Tonight, of course, live from Sparkwood and 21, right after Deleted Scenes and Sin talk about the movie they saw last night. Kind of looking forward to that one. So yeah, start out with them. Start out with Sin and Deleted Scenes. Live from Sparkwood in 21, and then Blake 7 tonight. The last thing that I really want to make sure everyone knows about this Friday, got a very special guest on Last Call. We're going to have James Reckert, who played the man hands in the one Seinfeld episode. He's going to talk about the state of the industry today, the entertainment industry, what it's like working in Hollywood in front of and behind the camera, and we're going to find out about where he comes from. So really, really looking forward to that. Guys, I thank you all so much for sharing a full hour with me. I really was kind of planning to wind this down after about 30 to 40 minutes, but time flies when you're hanging out with friends. So once again, I thank you all so much for supporting me in all the ways that you do. I'm glad you like what I do, and I'm glad you like getting together with me. And as long as you do, we'll keep doing this. Thank you all so much. Take care, and see you later tonight, I hope. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high noon.